Hey Sagittarius, this is Mimi with Divination by Mimi. Welcome to your September 2017 Astrology and Oracle Tarot reading. Apologies, it's not done till the 20th today, the new moon in Virgo, but it is for the last 10 days. And we'll be doing a Celtic cross spread using the Thoth deck. Just a quick overview on the astrology for you. Your ruling planet is in Jupiter, and it is in Libra. Indirect. It is direct at the moment. You also have Saturn in your constellation still, and I believe there's a big change. Saturn. Nope, sorry. Saturn is direct for the remainder of the month. Pretty soon it's the next couple of months it's gonna be going into Capricorn, but it is, which is his ruling planet. But you have Saturn in your planet, so what would normally be very expansive, your very expansive nature is slightly tempered. I don't want to say dulled, but tempered by the energy of Saturn. Saturn is about the five senses, the manifested world, things that you can, the three-dimensional world, things you can see, touch, taste, hear, feel, etc. Not so much intuitive, not so much spiritual, not even that much mental, but only mental as it relates to the physical world. Right now, today, the moon is new, and it is in the sign of Virgo. Good time for planting intentions, particularly those of an intellectual nature, with Virgo's ruling planet Mercury in its constellation right now. That's a great time for you to do. So if you have some kind of intellectual endeavor, or if you're thinking about making a move somewhere, or taking a trip somewhere that could be educational and life fulfilling and affirming, this would be a good time to do that. What else? That's about it. I don't think you're creating any aspect. What's Saturn doing? Oh, actually, Saturn is making a nice trine as of today with the North Node in Leo. That North Node has to do with our collective movement toward spiritual enlightenment. So you're in a good place today to make that happen, to be moving more toward an evolution for yourself, to be that better person, more self-actualized. I think that's about all I want to say. I don't want to make yours too long, so let's get straight into your Celtic cross. I am going to be using the Thoth deck. Let's get started. What is up with Sagittarius? Mutable sign, ruled by Jupiter, about truth, the expansion and understanding of a higher truth, education, travel, expressive energy, malleable energy, flexible energy. Ruler of Jupiter, ruler of Hokmah. No. Chesed. Sorry. And in the case of ruling planet Jupiter in Libra, ruler of the ninth house. Again, travel, education. What is Sagittarius? What is on Sagittarius's mind? Issue. Completion. So you got the Four of Wands, but you got it in reverse. This is Venus in Aries. So although Venus and Mars, Aries ruling planet, are lovers in mythology, Venus in Aries is not well placed. Venus is, as you can imagine, about love, beauty, romance, feelings, relationships with the other, and value. When it's in the constellation of Aries, which has to do with, well, war, fast-moving energy, assertion of the I am, assertion of the self, the first house. Who are you? I am, etc. When Venus is in that sign, it's not subtle enough for Venus. So it's the green of Netzach. You've got the four adept, we got 4 adept wands there, indicating Venus with the dove and indicating Aries with the ram's head. And there's fire and impact that's happening there, but it's almost like it's wasted energy. And when it's in reverse, it is. So are you expending a lot of energy? That's what it's saying, basically. There's an issue with you expending a lot of energy and not getting much traction from it. You got the Wheel of Fortune in the upright, which is good. So the energy around this is some lesson you're learning is coming to a completion, which kind of makes sense. This card is called, the 4 Wands is called completion. And this feeling of unrest or of energy expelled to no gain is actually a lesson that you're learning. It's a destiny, karmic lesson that must be learned. And you're experiencing the frustration of, well, with Saturn in your sign, in your constellation, you're kind of experiencing the frustration of that energy. Again, Venus in Aries is 2 totally different energies colliding and not getting anywhere. Saturn in your sign is kind of like that too. Your rulership is Jupiter, which is expansion. Saturn is constriction, right? So it's like the opposite. So if you're feeling like you're running in place and not getting anywhere, there's good reason for it. And there's a lesson for you in it, okay? In the past. In the past, we've got the Empress. Oh, sorry. Stop. Hey. Stop. The Empress is about fertility. It's about, Ollie, stop. It's about abundance. It's about, so in the past, you have had a lot. With the Empress in the upright position, there's been a lot of fertility in your life, not just in the sense of procreation, but fertility in the sense of prosperity. Things have gone well for you. Things have gone positively and maybe even a little easily for you in the past. This restriction you're feeling right now, Saturn's placement in Sagittarius right now, is a lesson that Sagittarius needs to learn. Okay? So I kind of have to sit with that because it has been easy and it has been good in the past. The foundation for this is the Ace of Discs. So discs are the same as pentacles, which is an earth energy, which is everything to do with things that are manifested, again, in the 3-dimensional world. So this can be health or wealth or stuff or things. When it's the ace, it's the purest essence of that. So what this is telling me is that on a physical level, in the physical world, the foundation for what you're experiencing now has been the availability to you, the ease and access of good health and wealth. The stuff that you need to consider yourself healthy and secure and wealthy, you've had available to you. But it's an ace. So the ace is the purest essence of it, but it's not the culmination of it. But this is what's been available to you. Okay, so it's been there. Perhaps the reason there's a lesson here is you're being taught how to use this more efficiently, more altruistically. In other words, having had a kind of gifted past up to this point, right, up to this lesson, this restriction that you're feeling now, may have something to do with the availability of these things to you. What's on your mind? Princess of Swords. So the princess in the Thoth deck is kind of like the page, and the page is about messages. This is a messenger. And what's on your mind is getting some kind of a new idea, I think you're stuck. You really want, and you feel as though there's a new concept or idea that's just not coming to you. It's like you've got writer's block or something like that. So what's on your mind is this new next thing, this new idea, this new intellectual. Swords are air. Air is intellectual, travel, communication, education. Maybe it's on your mind to start school. Maybe it's on your mind to start a training program. Maybe it's on your mind to start something intellectual, communicatively. And that's what you seem to think. This is what you're thinking about. And I guess you're thinking that that might be the remedy for you being very stuck here. And again, this very possibly could be beyond your control. Two major arcana. One, which is the karmic card, Fortune, Wheel of Fortune, in the upright. And, upright or reverse with Wheel of Fortune, if it feels bad or it feels good, if it's a karmic lesson, it's actually good. It's all good, okay? Because that means you're at a point, at a precipice where you're ready to move on from it when it appears. And I think that might have to do with the ease and availability of things coming to you. And I think it has to do with the ease and availability of things of the material world being available to you. Okay? Future. Okay, so you've had some, this is good. The Five of Cups is disappointment. This card is Mars in Scorpio. So this is a lot of fast-moving Mars energy. I mean, Mars is a co-rule of Scorpio too, but it's a fast-moving, directive, expressive, self-asserting energy in a sign that is much more about reflection, refining, putrefaction, transformation. Pluto, god of the underworld, is the main ruler of Scorpio. So the Mars in Scorpio sign in reverse, or card, disappointment in reverse, means when this lesson is learned, this feeling, and this, again, could be next month or maybe it's November. I'll try to tell you when that happens because it is relevant to you. Saturn leaves you at a certain point, I know that. In November it goes retrograde. It's in your sign for the duration. It's December, actually, right at the solstice, the equinox, or the solstice. It goes at 0 degrees into Capricorn, which is its rulership. So that's great. Yeah, that same month in December, a lot of culminations happening in December. Let's see, wait a minute. Where's Jupiter? Your ruling planet, Jupiter. Jupiter's making a move into Scorpio here too. Yeah. Jupiter's going to be moving into Scorpio in October, so around the 11th of next month. So that's a friendlier energy. Okay. And it has to do with resolving lessons. But the big one here is Saturn moving into Capricorn. And then, of course, when we're looking at past issues, which is the Wheel of Fortune is kind of talking about here, you moving beyond and learning a lesson, with Pluto going direct at the end of this month, like literally the end of this month, that will be very helpful to this process too. Okay? So in other words, that was a very long way of saying this is going to turn around for you. The disappointment, the feeling of stuck, the feeling of restriction will start to feel better very soon, likely because of Pluto going direct in the sign of Capricorn at the end of this month. Again, let me just confirm that date. Pluto is going to go direct on the 28th in the sign of Capricorn, which, again, their ruling planet for Capricorn is the planet that's in your constellation, that Saturn energy that you're feeling right here, or restriction. All right, let's move on with this. What's on your mind? So you feel, so this is the eights. Eights are about building to something. Building to either an understanding or a learning, or building to a nice nest egg. And we're talking about pinnacles here, or coins or discs. And that usually has to do with health or wealth or stuff or things. So if this has to do with something physical in your world, like money, like finances, the feeling, you're feeling as though all this work that you, these eights, the 8 discs, this work that you've been putting into something has gotten you nowhere. It's like as fast as the money comes in, it goes out. You know, a new bill pops up if I've made headway in paying off a credit card, that type of thing. And that's the energy of this. This is the sun in Virgo, right? Is that right? Yeah, Virgo. Is that what that is? It's hard to tell. I think that's Virgo. And Virgo is the energy of analysis, planning, thoughts, rationale, methodical planning, which is what you've been doing with your coin. You've been putting it away. You've been trying to culminate toward a nice nest egg, and you're feeling like you're not getting anywhere. Again, it's going out as fast as it's coming in. So that's what you're feeling. How other people see the situation. So they see the situation as the high priestess. This is other people looking at the situation. And what this generally means is there's something that has not been revealed to you yet. There's some wisdom here. And again, it makes sense. There's another major arcana as well. 1, 2, 3 major arcana as it relates to your situation. This karma that you're going through based upon past abundance, this feeling of restriction that you're going through is to teach you something, okay? And as frustrating as it is to give and give and give to a savings account, you know, trying to culminate, to build towards something financially and to have it not happen or feel like it's not happening, it's very, very frustrating. The rest of the world or others see this situation as something has become, there's something that needs to become known to you, something you need to learn, whether it is the lesson in question here or a habit or some new information, maybe about the stock market, maybe about your investment portfolio, but there's some bit of information that has yet to be revealed to you that will be, that's going to turn this whole situation. This feels financial to me. You've had it easy in the past. You have a karmic lesson now to feel the restriction for the flow of prosperity. You're waiting on an idea, right? The world or the rest of the world seeing you waiting on some illumination, something, okay? Hopes and fears, yeah. So this is the 7 of discs in reverse. Your fear is that you'll be waiting forever. Your fear is that this is going nowhere. 7s are patience. 7s are about putting the money in it. And your fear is that you won't have the patience to make it happen because, again, it's a mutable energy, number 1. I'm talking about Sagittarius, but it's a fire sign as well, which means it tends to want things fast. But again, there's a lesson to be learned here. This restriction and slowness you're feeling is here for a reason. There's a heavy Saturn influence in this card. Saturn in Taurus is very, very slow. And this is how it feels to you. Very fucking slow. Like, I'm putting everything away. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to. You know, I'm building towards something. When the fuck am I going to see the fruit on my tree? Basically. Your fear is it's going to be like this forever. And it's not. It's not. There's something that will be illuminating. Something that's coming to you. Final outcome. Okay, so you got the success in reverse. 6 of coins, or discs, in reverse. This is the moon in Taurus. So 6s are stability. They are kind of like a resting point. a resting point of energy. It's a comfortable resting point. If you, so much is in reverse here. You're really restricted right now. This lesson is a tough one for you. You have a fear of patience. You have a fear of things moving slowly. And it makes sense. A mutable sign and a fire sign at that. You have a fear of that. That is a huge fear, that it's going to continue to feel stuck. And I'm afraid that you're going to have to be comfortable in the fact that there is a process and a lesson that you have to learn. Okay? If you stay afraid instead of going with the flow, which is something you should instinctually be able to do, if you stay afraid and stay in the energy of I'm hitting my head against a wall, why won't this thing come to me? Why won't this information be revealed to me? Then you will have a delayed success. You will have a delayed feeling of, you know, when you go up a few flights of stairs, there's that landing step that it sort of delineates between the flights. You're not able to get to that next landing. You're just going up the stairs and going, running in place, so sort of. And I think a lot of it has to do with you kind of complaining about the restriction. I think what's being highlighted here is that there are times in life where things are plentiful and abundant, and they come very easily. There's a time in life when things are restricted. And right now, this is a Saturn return. This is a time when you are supposed to feel the restriction of life. I'm sorry. It's not what you want to hear. But the more you resist it, and the more you complain about it, the less these enlightening things will be to you. Perhaps the enlightenment is to understand that it is a lesson, that you can't always have things as abundant and as plentiful as they have been for you in the past, and available to you as they have been to you in the past. So it is important, perhaps, that you understand that this had to happen. And perhaps that the illumination you're seeking here is just understanding that this is a karmic lesson for you. What are they? There's something that to be said here about you learning to care for the house that you have before you go looking for a larger house. There's something to learn here in this restriction that you're feeling, and it feels like it's something to do with abundance or lack thereof, or stagnation of fruitfulness, of plenty. I hope that makes sense. I don't think it needs clarification because I think the cards are quite clear. And I do believe that the best thing for you to do is to not fight and complain about the fact that this is not what you want. Because that's obvious. To learn and understand and be enlightened by the fact that this is a lesson that you need to learn. That everything has ups and downs. Just like the Hermetic principles. For every move, there's an opposite reaction. So everything cannot remain the same. If it's always been high, there's got to be a low. It's just the cycle of energy. It won't kill you. It's just restrictive. And that's not a comfortable thing for you. You're a mover. You're immutable. All right, that is the reading. I hope that it helped, and I hope it wasn't too negative, and it certainly was too long, so my apologies there. If you would like a personal reading or have questions, feel free to email me at memememes@hotmail.com. You'll find that email in the description box below the video. If you have a question or a comment you'd like to leave in the comment section, feel free to do that. Otherwise, I will see you next month, and hang in there. This lesson, you will learn it, but you have to kind of accept it and relax into the fact that it's a lesson, because that's just the way life and energy works, ups and downs. Okay? Much love, Sag.